So, what would Christmas be without another disaster for Wargaming and World of Warships? And although I don't think this is going to be as bad, the keyword being bad here, it is another nail in the coffin for Wargaming, and I'm really struggling to find a reason to keep playing this game in the long term. But we'll save the personal stuff for a bit later. First of all, let's go through the Reddit post that gives an overview of what is the main problem with this season's gift containers. And I say gift containers because there's 3 of them. So, let's get into it. So we're going to read this post from HMS Manchester, obviously credit to him for making the post and figuring all this stuff out. And we're just going to take a step through it so we just get a clear idea of how kind of messed up this whole situation is. So, if you've been following the initial reports of Santa Big Gift results, you'll probably notice something odd. A flood of Makarovs, the Tier 6 Soviet Nuremberg, have graced those lucky enough to get a ship. This is not a bizarre coincidence, it is a consequence of the way Santa gift containers allocate ships. It is complicated, but I'm going to try my best to explain it. So let's start with the assumption that you win a ship. Hooray! However, is the ship you win truly random? Wargaming explains that if a ship that you already have in your port is dropped, the Santa's Big Gift container will be replaced by a super container. The latter will contain another ship from the list along with a port slot and a commander with 10 skill points. While confusingly worded, they do allude to the fact that, in the first instance, you do not receive a ship from the whole pool of available premium ships listed. Rather, you receive a ship from a selective you receive a ship from a select shortlist, which differs depending on the box type, and you will receive it in a Santa crate box, not a super container. You only get a drop from the whole list of available ships if you roll a shortlisted ship, which you already have in your port or in a previously purchased crate. If this happens, you receive a ship from the entire pool listed in a super container. Lower tier ships are likelier to drop from the super container. What this means is that if I have no premium ships and buy a gift which luckily includes a vessel, I will only ever receive a ship from the shortlist. My chance of a ship not included on the shortlist and a ship from, say, the bigger list is 0, unless I already have at least one ship on the shortlist. The implications of this are pretty massive. If lucky enough to secure a ship, which most likely result is that you roll the most common ship on the shortlist. That'll be the most likely outcome. If you do not have it, that's what the container gives you. Makarov is the most common ship in the Big Gift shortlist, and few people have it. That is why so many, including HMS Manchester, received Makarov as their first gift ship. The same occurred in 2018 with the Krasny Krem and Exeter and Hungay in 2019. Due to the importance of the shortlist, you should really consider if you would be happy to receive the shortlisted ships before investing in gifts. If you are lucky enough to get a ship, that will most likely be the outcome. Now he goes on to say that he doesn't have full data for the shortlist, which is, understandable, but he decided to do a very nice thing and, keep us updated on some of the shortlisted ship depending on the container. Now there is 3 containers. You have the gift, the big gift, and the mega containers, all of which I think are ridiculous, and I would never advise buying them. I would just spend the money on the ship, and if the ship isn't available in the shop, just play free events or something. So for the gift containers, the shortlist appears to be the British cruiser London, Tier 6 French cruiser De Grasse, which is a bit questionable, and Tier 5 European battleship, the Verbus Unitas. For the big gift shortlist, Tier 6 the Soviet cruiser is a Makarov, Tier 7 US battleship California, and Tier 8 European destroyer the Orkan. And for the mega shortlist, you have the Tier 6 Italian cruiser Duca da Costa, Tier 7 Japanese destroyer Udachi, Tier 8 British battleship Vanguard, and Tier 8 Soviet cruiser Okachev. Spend wisely, as he signs off. Now, maybe I went through that a bit fast, so let me just give a summary. So let's say you buy any given container from the Santa gift containers and you have no premium ships in your port. Okay, so what that means is that if you get a gift from your Santa container, that means that if it's a gift container, you're probably going to get you're guaranteed to get one of these ships, i.e. London, De Grasse, Verbus Unitas. If it's a big gift container and you have no premiums, you're going to get a California, an Orkan, or a Makarov most likely. And if it's a mega container, you're probably going to get a Duca Costa, a Udachi, a Vanguard, or a Okachev. That's the scenario where if you do not have any of these premiums in your port. Now, if you do have premiums in your port, well, then that's a different scenario. Say you get a ship, you win a ship in your container, on your Santa container that you already have in your ports. Like, let's say for example, you already own the California or the Makarov, however unlikely that is, and you get, you buy a big gift container, you open it, and inside would be the Makarov. Except you already have the Makarov, so what that means is that you'll get a super container instead, with a chance to get any of the ships listed, with the list that Wargaming put up originally with this whole event. Although super container ships do tend to lean towards lower tier ships, so, take that into account. So I hope that cleared up the actual, scenario surrounding this. My personal opinion is that you should probably never buy these things. They seem like probably the worst way to get ships in the game. All that being said, it's effectively gambling, to be honest, even though I think Wargaming somehow considers it a transactional thing. The only transaction is basically, taking your money and saying yoink. But again, I don't want to compare this to Puerto Rico. I feel as though Puerto Rico was a much bigger deal, but at the same time, as you can probably guess, this has created a little bit of a shit show in the World of Warships community, ranging from comments on the Wargaming stream itself and also numerous posts on the subreddit. And as good as this still is just a theory. So what I also thought I'd do is Flamu decided to list some clips or do a little bit of research, shall we say, into this actual, theory and test to see whether or not this was true. And so I'm going to play a couple clips right now from his stream. Again, all credit to Flamu. He's the one who got the containers and tested this out, where it does tend to show and prove this to be true. Again, it's just one data point, but it's a pretty damning data point and all things being said. So let's have a little look at this, shall we?
Dubs are always nice. Not that I'd really need dubs on my NA account, or would want to be. Oh, here we go. Please don't be a Makarov. Oh. Oh. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, that's a yikes. That's actually a pretty big yikes.
So, as you can see from the Makarov clip, he bought a container, a big gift container. He opened it, the ship. He didn't have the Makarov in his port, and he got it, which, could be coincidental. But then he goes on to buy more containers, and well, this is where the second clip comes in.
Alright! Oh my...
For the team.
Oh my god. Holy sh... There is no... The odds, there is no way. It's guaranteed rigged. It's guaranteed rigged. There's no way that you can just RNG, but like, no way.
Wait, Wargaming and Scammy never heard of this.
Only the one.
And as you can see from that clip, he got the Udachi in the mega container. All of this comes together to give you a pretty damning verdict in terms of whether this is, just a coincidence or actually real. Me, myself, it seems all too common for Wargaming to do stuff like this, and, well, it's pretty damning. That being said, though, there has been a response from Wargaming, and they have said that they're going to reply to this after they talked to the devs on Monday, which is pretty concerning, because if this is just a development issue, very questionable. But we'll see what they say on Monday, and maybe this whole situation will blow over. Again, let's just hold off from making a 100% damning verdict until we actually hear the scenario out. And if they spin a yarn on Monday, well then we know their intentions. But this leads to a kind of a bigger issue. I find myself losing more and more interest in the game as a whole, and this just adds more weight to the issues surrounding the game. So again, what does this mean going forward for even my channel and probably other channels like mine that pretty much feature exclusively in World of Warships? Well, World of Warships content is still and probably always will have a place on this channel, but again, moving forward, I will be featuring other games. I know I've shown videos about Battlefield and things like that in the past, and with the upcoming Battlefield games, they will be playing probably more of an important role in the channel than they have in the past. And generally games with a historical / war type slant, again, much like World of Warships, will feature pretty heavily on the channel. But at this point, I simply cannot put all my eggs in this type of basket going forward. But that's it for another video, and as always, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.